Mind-body research is moving mainstream. Even Harvard Health reports your mind can be a powerful healing tool when given the chance. And there's a team of doctors here in Tampa Bay that helps their patients create a stronger connection between the brain and the body. And science backs this type of evidence-based treatment protocol. Joining me now are the founders of Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box, a holistic integrative medical clinic here in Tampa Bay. Welcome, Dr. Garner and Dr. Teekell-Taylor. It's great to see you both.
Hi, Gail.
So today's entire show is devoted to mind over matter, and I know at Docs Outside the Box that your healthcare team always looks at illness from many different perspectives. But do you believe that mind or someone's mind can play a role in illness?
100%. We believe that the body always, or the biology of the body always reveals the inner turmoil. So a great example of that would be a cough. So what happens when one coughs? Get away. And everyone moves away. So someone or something is in that person's territory that that person wants away. So we are always looking at how that works in with the illness.
Very interesting. So how do you address this in your office visits?
All of our providers are trained this way, and they are trained to look at what emotions or what spiritual thing is happening in the moment. And so, for example, another great example of that, examples make it a little easier to understand. We had a patient come to the urgent care with a urinary tract infection. After we did the typical standard of care, we then started speaking to her and found out that her in-laws were in town staying in her home. What happens when you have a urinary tract infection? You urinate a lot. So she's marking her territory because the in-laws were in there and she didn't have boundaries. So we discussed that so that she doesn't set herself up for the next urinary tract infection.
Very interesting. We also know that stress plays an incredible role in our health, and it starts to live inside of our bodies and manifest itself in the form of diseases and other ailments. What are your thoughts on that?
We totally know that's true, Gail. We know there's no difference between your emotions and your body. You're all part of one system, believe it or not. So we know there's an intimate connection between what's hurting you on the inside and what your body will manifest. We know there's a one-to-one relationship. In our culture, we are taught from an early age, stiff upper lip, fake it till you make it, repress, suppress. You've got to go to work, you've got to write the bills. What do you do with all those emotions that you had to contend with but couldn't at the time because you were too busy? You had to push it down. So in this woman's case, we went ahead and treated her for her bladder infection, and then we probably said something to her like this: who's bothering you in your territory, so that you feel like you have to go mark your space because it's going to be invaded otherwise. And then there's a big aha moment sometimes with patients because they go, oh my goodness, it's really real. And in her case, we treated her, but we taught her, look at your emotions and look at what's happening to the physical body, because there's a one-to-one relationship. So she set boundaries. She did a good job. She went back and understood this, but now she's set up for the future to know when something gnaws on her on the inside, it's going to come out. You're going to get sick physically. The older we get, the easier that is to happen. We're not as resilient, and so we'll get people in our age group now starting to look at the emotions that they have been repressing since childhood and how it's come out to haunt them in their physicality. And it helps them break the pattern, and that alone puts us outside the box, Gail, if you want to know the truth. Helps our patients get a whole different look than they would have gotten if they'd gone elsewhere, where the heart and the mind are separate from the physical biochemistry. It just doesn't work that way.
I think the more, as viewers, you might be listening now and say, I don't buy it. The more you research this, the more you look at it, you look at the institutions that are backing what these ladies here, or these doctors are saying, you're going to realize you're in great hands with Docs Outside the Box. Thank you guys so much for coming in today and always being so forward-thinking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gail.
All right. Docs Outside the Box and Kids Outside the Box are located in St. Petersburg. Call 727-498-8898 or visit online at docsoutsidethebox.us. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this, so don't go away.